Imagine that you are 11 years old. You are seated next to a hospital bed. There is a woman, Irene Oppenheimer. She is in a coma. Your job is to provide mental stimulation and conversation. You do this every Saturday morning for the next 3 years. You've been volunteered. It's an unusual responsibility, and it's scary. On Saturday mornings, your father drives you to their home. You use that time to organize your thoughts. What would an 11-year-old you share? Many of my stories involved riding my bike around our neighborhood, and one day, my best friend Lori and I wanted to buy candy. We got permission to ride our bikes far away to White Hen Pantry, and it was there that I had my first Bullseye caramel candy. Do you know Bullseyes? Yes? Some. Chewy caramel, a creamy vanilla nougat. It melts together like pure bliss in your mouth. The next day was Saturday. I wanted to tell Mrs. Oppenheimer about this candy. But is it cruel to tell someone about something they cannot eat? Oh, should I tell her? Should I not tell her? Debating all the way there. I had been given this job by my grandmother Meinert, who is an in-home health aide, a nurse. Grandmother Meinert cared for Mrs. Oppenheimer and old Mr. Oppenheimer, who lived there in his wheelchair. I want to mention now that my grandmother Meinert was blind, yet worked and supported herself independently. This first and most important job had a significant impact on my outlook. It was tough living, right? Tough living. What deficits I saw. My blind grandmother nursing, an old man in a wheelchair, a woman in a coma, and an 11-year-old me. This is not a popular group that you would want to join. This is not a situation or place that you would think you would go to succeed. But the love and care that I saw was every day. No complaining. Everyone just moved forward as if nothing was wrong and that this was normal. Despite a gap from ideal that even I could see, big deficits in this merry little troop. Now, I run a technology business, and like many people who invent and create, I come with deficits. I'm a woman. I don't think of that as a deficit. But it's true we don't have strong female representation in technology. And it's true that few of us in technology or not go on to found our own companies. Overall, less than 1% of the nation's businesses are over $1 million sized female-owned businesses. Another deficit that you can tell from this story is clearly I lacked some kind of aristocratic background. Now, I don't think about that as a deficit either, because one of the benefits about living in America is that we can have a background that doesn't sound like much and go on and succeed. If you collaborate and work with others in win-win ways, it can move you to overcome perceived or real gaps or deficits. You have achieved so much with your education. So I'm going to ask you now, what is your bullseye? What's important to you? Do you see something as a benefit or as a deficit? And is it really a deficit? What about 11-year-old me? Decades later, I'm with you up on this scary stage. I learned by talking to someone in a coma that I can talk to anyone. I mean, for hours. Gaps and deficits, actions and joy and accomplishments, which will you choose? Our disposition and how we face our world really matters. It's often implied that whatever we're doing isn't enough. Someone else is ahead. Oh, we're falling helplessly behind. But the answer is actually easy, because we move past it. We will, as Ambrosians, develop intellectually, spiritually, ethically, socially, artistically, and physically. We will enrich our lives and the lives of others. That is from our St. Ambrose mission statement. Words to live by. We can stay on our mission, our own bullseye, and ignore the secular advice of the world. Keep moving forward with our actions. Without saying a word, Mrs. Oppenheimer, my silent friend, changed my perspective. It's popular now to see images of the world and of people's complete success that seems instantaneous, TikTok social comparison that focuses on our gaps and not our strengths. I can volunteer to you that comparison is the thief of joy, and it can steal yours if you let it. I mentioned deficits when I started, and I will boldly tell you the story I shared with you was one of success because we moved past deficits. Ignore them. Generate your own joy. Do you know yet your own bullseye? I really like my alumni-owned business sticker. I really wanted this. Almost half of our employees are St. Ambrose graduates. That's another bullseye. The horizon is yours, straight ahead. We all know what happens when you look left or right and you're driving a car. You miss the bend in the road and you hit a tree. Darts never look left or right. A dart flies a straight line. It focuses on its bullseye. You are prepared. My gift to you is a sweet morsel of inspiration today in recognition of our time here together. As you walk across the stage to receive your diploma, please take a bullseye. Congratulations, class of 2022.